sit on my stool so far. Cause it's tales from a dive bar. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while.
It's been a very long time.
Very long while. And it's good to be back, and we are, of course, thankful for you taking the time to tune in. We're going through growing pains. I think everyone is. The whole world feels like it's going through growing pains right now. And that's why I'm very happy to have one of my best friends, Raven. The Raven. You guys all know the Raven.
Here I am.
Should I do the sound effect?
Oh, yeah.
Let me see. Here we go. Hold on.
You got to.
Oh, never mind. It's you laughing.
Oh, no, right. That's the other one.
You know what? I don't have the Raven sound effect. I have everything but the Raven sound effect on my B-bar.
But you have me laughing.
Yeah.
I guess.
Every time I heard you laugh in our previous podcast, I threw those in there so that if I ever needed to just go ahead and, oh, no, what do you think of that, Raven?
No. No.
There you go. No, there it is. No.
No.
That's too funny. It's good times.
That actually is hilarious. This is why I miss this. I freaking miss this.
And let's just go ahead and take the time. We're going to be very honest with each and every one of you that take the time to listen to this podcast. Raven and I have always been good friends. Even if we aren't in a relationship or like together and dating, we've both agreed we still always wanted to be good friends. You've always been a genuine person, and that's what I love about you. I really appreciate you doing all of this, taking the time to jump in and give us a little bit of what's going on with your life. I know you have a new podcast coming out as well. I've taken a listen to it. Maybe we'll talk you into letting us play a few clips here on the podcast as well. But why don't you take a few minutes and just explain some of the things that are going on with the podcast?
Oh my gosh. So it's been a crazy journey. I've been trying to do this for so long. I've been trying to do it, but I was in an abusive marriage. And he did not want me to be a part of that. He didn't even let me be a part of that in any capacity. I had no capacity to do it. It sucked. So for background, I was recruited to be a life coach, but more like a lived experience coach for survivors of domestic violence at the 515 studio in Wheaton. So that was great because I already knew the therapist. I had her as a therapist. She was fantastic, but we grew as friends and we wanted to be colleagues. We knew we had ideas to help women. And I was so excited. I was so excited to be a part of that community and help other women. And then my husband, at the time, my ex-husband, he shot that down and told me I could never be a part of it ever again.
Really? So
yeah.
He just said done and closed the door on it. So
yeah, his ego was shot. Yeah. And so while we were, with the 515 community, me and Nikki, she was like, let's come up with ideas. And I was like, oh my God, what about a podcast? What about like not only our personal stories, but actual history and facts and education? Because awareness leads to stopping abuse, or at least keeping safe from abuse, you know?
Well, finding that community where you can talk about it, it'll make you feel more comfortable about it.
Yeah.
It's something that everyone neglects, I think, or tries to not want to admit. Maybe it's denial that it exists as much as it does, as prominent as it is.
And that's the thing, certain things are abuse and we normalize it. And it's awful, especially coercive control. And that's what he was. That's what my ex-husband was. That's what he did. And so anyway, I still tried to record these episodes before I launched. I still tried, but I was so defeated because I was like, how can I record a podcast about abuse recovery when I am in an abusive relationship?
It's like you're still going through it. It's kind of hard, but I think that's the reason why it took so long to even post another episode, because we're all going through growing pains. That seems to be the intermittent theme that I've seen here in the last handful of months. At least the last 9 to 12 months has felt like a weird blur.
Right.
But it's brought on a whole new perspective.
And that's what the podcast is about. It's about self-reclamation. It's about self-reclamation after abuse or trauma or any hardship in your life. It's about alchemy. You're alchemizing your pain into something better. You're reclaiming yourself and knowing yourself, which I had to do a lot after you, but I didn't even do it to the way that I really wanted to do it because I still got duped by a dude that told me everything that you never did or said and all that, you know? And that's what sucks. But that's after, you know, filing for divorce and everything, that's what made me put my nose to the grind and started recording. And so the podcast is kind of a safe space, not only for the 515 community, but for everybody. You know, like I'm even on Reddit with the emotional abuse subreddit. Like I am there for people. I tell people what it is and from my experience and everything. And I even do my shout outs. I'm like, listen to my podcast, listen to these podcasts, you know, read these books, you know, because awareness is the key. Once you name it and once you know the pattern, you are able to see it and to avoid it, or either at least gather some type of information later on when you're in it and you're like, oh crap, I'm in it. You know?
What would you think some of the big underlying or those patterns that exist that you really should look at, or if you're in a relationship or you're listening now, what are the flags that should be considered?
Number one is love bombing. Love bombing is the biggest tell.
I like love bombing. It's kind of nice. It's fun, you know. Everyone
know
feels
you do.
good. It gets everyone's serotonin going. I feel good about it, you know. What am I doing wrong if I feel good about it and you feel good about it?
What you're doing wrong is what you do after the love bombing.
Oh, what's that?
Like, if you're love bombing me, sure, you love the validation. You love what I bring to you because you're loving me, essentially. You're giving me all this love. And then you start future faking. Oh. That's the key. If you start future faking with the love bombing, that's a little bit of more of a red flag. Like,
what's entailed with future faking?
Being like, oh my God, I could see us totally hanging out at a cottage by the sea. Don't you like that? And then like they mirror your interests. I could say, oh my God, like Heathcliff and Kathy in Wuthering Heights. And you'd be like, oh yeah, I love that book.
Okay, so the notion of future planning, that's not going to happen then. It's future planning that's not going to stand up to those plans when they're made at that time.
Right.
It's too grandiose.
Exactly. And that's where it stems from. It stems from this grandiose narcissism, like this narcissistic personality.
Where do you think something like that comes from? Is that just like some shit, you know, a childhood thing or... You know?
Interestingly, it's both. It's nature and nurture. Because there are studies that show that the genetic makeup actually predisposes you to having that type of personality. However, if you are nurtured in a way that perpetuates that, it's kind of like a disease. You know, like everyone has maybe the capability to have cancer, perhaps, you know, like.
But it doesn't mean everybody gets cancer.
Right.
But everyone's still like in the sense of dealing with love bombing and then future planning and falling into a phase of experiencing some sort of narcissism. It seems to be kind of a recurring thing that happens way more often than people want to believe.
See, now that's the key. And that's why I am an advocate for justice for this, because I don't understand why people have normalized this behavior. I don't understand why people have normalized womanizing or just abuse in general, because I think I saw something once. It was like, all men are abusive, but we don't call it abuse. And of course, I'm not saying all men here.
Well, it seems like there's a tolerance to the amount that a woman will deal with.
Right.
Or a partner, if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah. And it depends. And it depends on everything. So for women in general, which abuse happens in all categories, it's man to man, female to female, whatever. So we're not discriminating. It's all throughout the spectrum here. But from my experience, I like to talk about female to male. And also, I think it's the most dangerous it is the most dangerous because it's disproportionately affecting women. Because men have the capability to overpower a woman. And more often than not, they are the ones killing the women.
It's like high school mentality behavior where these kids haven't learned how to actually behave. And now they're in the world. They're dating your daughters. They're in the bars. They're in the dive bar that I hang out at. And I have to see these dipshits on the patio throwing up all over the place or sitting there telling me that they got this great story. And I'm just like, all right, another time, dude. It sucks because it does seem like, in spite of the fact that we have so much knowledge and so much access to knowledge, we've become a lot lazier and we've become a lot more accepting of things and behaviors that we otherwise shouldn't tolerate.
Exactly.
We shouldn't put up with that.
Exactly. And not to get all woo-woo for your male followers, but that's patriarchy.
Oh, yeah. See? Listen to that, male followers. I'm part of the patriarchy.
You are.
I'm on top of the mountain, so you got to listen to me.
Actually, it's that, and also patriarchy affects men just as much as women. They keep men trapped
I agree.
into perpetuating that misogyny and that fuckery, you know?
Well, I'm trying to look at it from the perspective of a narcissist, which your 515 community, there may be some questionable thoughts where I may be borderline personality narcissistic disorder with triple ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive, adult acquired attention, whatever.
Yeah.
But you look at everything that gets built up from the love bombing to then the false future thing and then not being able to put up with it and then the gaslighting. Any male or narcissist shouldn't be happy knowing that they're falling back into that cycle, even if it happens for months or years or in a relationship where you're with somebody and you're married. Why would you want that to continue and perpetuate? Like, why would the woman who tells you you're not happy make you mad and then you dismiss it and then say, oh, well, you're overreacting with how I feel right now, or I'm overreacting?
Because they don't want to see it and they will never see it, because what happens with narcissistic individuals is that they believe their lies. They believe their lies before you even call them on it, because how dare you shatter their reality? They will hold on to every single crumb of what they believe they are and project it onto the other individual.
Do you think they can hold on to it for that long, though? I mean, how long do you think they can hold this?
They don't hold it that long. I have come up with a theory. This is my hypothesis. It may not be completely accurate scientifically, but from my experience, I really wholeheartedly believe every 3 to 6 months. 3 to 6 months is the time. There are certain individuals that will give it to you within 2 weeks. There are certain tells that I didn't know at the time, but now I know, and I would call it out within a week. But generally, in my experience, it's like 3 to 6 months.
There's like some weird period of time where it just can't hold up anymore.
And that's the mask.
And you see it come off.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a honeymoon phase. It's more of I haven't been married, obviously, but is it a honeymoon phase? I don't know if that's part of it,
No.
or if it's just the fact that you look and you go, this person had an outside life before they met me or before we started
Right.
dating. Taking that time to figure out what's actually really there, what's genuinely there before you see the mask or the suit, for that matter, go to the floor.
I think the difference is that during the honeymoon phase, you do kind of gloss over little annoyances or little things. You have the rose-colored glasses, right? You know, like, and everything's hunky-dory. But you've already talked about things. You already know things, but you're going to go through hard spots. A regular relationship, a healthy relationship is going to go through hard times and hard seasons. Like, it's normal. But what's not normal is someone trying to get information out of you, mirroring you, and love bombing you, and future faking to propose false intimacy. And then you're in this intimate relationship and you think, oh my God, this is my Prince Charming. This is everything I've ever asked for. Oh my God, this is it. And then they start to test you. This should be the honeymoon phase, but it's not, because there's little tests that you won't know because you're under the guise that this person means well. They're too good to be true, and they are good. They're beautiful. You know, they're saying everything that you want. They want everything that you want. Their goals and values align, which you don't even realize that they're mirroring you. You don't even realize that.
They don't even realize that either.
Exactly, because that's their tactic, and they will do anything to be somebody else because they have a fragile ego. It is all shame, narcissistic shame. But that's the difference between
a fragile ego and maybe a super ego. I don't know.
It's just the difference between a normal honeymoon phase, being normal with each other and like having rose-colored glasses on.
Yeah.
And then versus someone who purposely created a honeymoon phase on their time and then escalated it to go to a different time frame on their own terms because they want everything on their own terms. And they will test you. They will test your boundaries. They will try to manipulate reality right away. Like, for example, so I was official with my ex-husband as a boyfriend-girlfriend situation in August 2025. And I think I just burped right now, but
don't worry, I'll edit it out. I got it.
But that's Tales from a Dive Bar.
There you go.
And so I was with him in August, and then September we were talking about marriage, and I thought it was just so beautiful, you know. And then October happened, and there was little reveals, little things, like I would talk about our marriage. At first, he would look at the Pinterest boards with me and be like, "Oh, that's so beautiful. I can't wait to do that for you." And then as it got closer, there would be little things, and I would be like, "Are you sure you just want to do a court wedding? Because like, I think we could just do something small. We could do something small in a forest. We don't have to have like, because you know, my dream is just to be married in a forest, guys.
Yeah,
I just want to be married in a forest. I just want to be, you know, by a river, like, or some body of water. And I don't care if you put a fucking string on my finger. It's like, I just want that witchy, earthy goodness of just being combined. But anyway, the point is that I thought he loved that because he expressed that he loved that.
Yeah.
And he loved all the imagery and everything. But as the time came closer and as we pushed and everything, he would test it and be like, no, I don't think we can do that. And you know what? I think you're crazy because we should be able to do a court wedding. Like, I was like, not everybody does that. People like ceremonies. And he's like, no, not everybody does. And then all of a sudden I was like trying to figure out, do I want to wear a dress then to the courtroom? Because see how I already like complied?
You were already there and you're like, fine, all right, let's get married in the courtroom.
Yeah, like I already fucking complied, but here's where me comes in, my individual self. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get a dress. It's not going to be a big dress. It's just like a white little pinup dress because I love those, you know, like just little, you know, I'm like, oh, it's going to be so cool. I told him about it and he was like, no, I don't like being on the spot like that. I don't like that. Don't disrespect me.
Did he have any friends? Did he have any people that were looking and saying to him like, hey, you know?
Here's the thing that I realized. So this is about not just him, but narcissistic individuals. If anyone's listening, you know, like he had friends, quote unquote. He had friends. But what I didn't realize, because it was just so nuanced, but at the end of it all, I realized all his friends were being used for business purposes.
Yeah, so it just keeps going.
Right.
They're all using each other.
Exactly. They were using each other. And was I ever introduced to his friends? No. Was I ever introduced to his mom or his sister? No.
It's very compartmentalized.
Yeah. And you know what that is? Isolation. So that's like the third red flag.
There you go. We got the three. We apologize in advance if you were expecting us to talk about doing stupid stuff at a dive bar. It's become more of a 515 podcast. Be sure to check it out. It's the 515 podcast with Raven. And
you can stream it on any podcast service you got, except for iHeartRadio. I still haven't done that one, but any other one.
Yeah, whoever listens. Who listens to that anyway?
I don't know, but that's why I haven't done it. I was like, I don't know. I don't care. But maybe someday, no bad shame to that. But I mean, honestly, you find narcissistic individuals in a dive bar. You do. I found you. To be honest, you're not a typical narcissist.
Thanks.
You have narcissistic tendencies because of your avoidant attachment and your trauma. But
Damn,
that's
you
not
nailed it on the head there.
I know. But that's not an excuse for your behavior.
Yeah, I agree. And
you've recognized that, which I appreciate.
I felt like I was so into the muck that trying to get out of it and just wade and dry myself out kind of took a good 6-month span. But even then, it's like once you hit that point where you've gotten that time alone, you realize like, wow, I'm really upset about some of these things that I did, or I'm really upset about how I feel about how this went down, or I wish things would have been differently. And you realize that would have been the case had I just taken the time to give myself that clarity, step back from it all. But yeah, I totally agree. I mean, and it's a question that I want to ask you. Maybe we'll take a small break. We can let them listen to some of the podcast audio we have from the 515 podcast. And then we'll come back and I'll ask you the question, what makes a man weak? So when we come back, we'll go ahead and digest that. If you've stayed around long enough for this, well, it's only going to get weirder and further and more wild as we get in depth with Tales from a Dive Bar, Narcissist Edition.
Hey, it's Brian with From the Start. Check out our new album, Neighbors, and you're listening to Tales from the Dive Bar.
There was a time in my life where I thought the level of intensity was love.
Ooh.
I'm going to call him Chad because I don't want to give out his name. You know, I'm all about anonymity here. With Chad, things got grotesque. There was cheating. There were emotional highs and lows that made me feel like my skin was turned inside out, and I stayed. Yeah, I stayed. Not just stayed. I thought this was some kind of fated connection. We're technically friends now. I admit that, and I allow that. I'm not in love with him. I'm not trying to go back. But there are still wounds that fester.
All right, so what did you mean by that?
By which part?
By the way, if you didn't pick up on this, that was part of the 515 podcast, courtesy of Raven. She's producing it and putting out. We're going to throw a little applause and clap there in the background because I'm very proud of you for putting it together. But you had mentioned Chad.
Yeah.
What did he do? I should have remembered the first part of what he said. This is the problem with Chad. Chad, not Jason, Chad.
So Chad, he was love bombing, manipulative, and out to only benefit him because it was about convenience. And it was all about him without me knowing it because it was under the guise of true love. It was under the guise of being fated. Like, this is destiny. Like, we are called together, and we were hanging out all the time. Like, all the time. And I met his family. I met his family within like 2 weeks of dating / not dating, because it really wasn't dating, but it felt like dating. And I mean, doesn't this sound familiar, Jason?
Very
Are you
familiar.
Chad?
All right, let's just air it out. I'm apparently Chad, and you guys are going to find out more about Chad. The Chasen version.
Anonymity is out the window now, I suppose.
It's all right. Go ahead. You give it to him. Tell him what you want.
This is Jason. Like, I will be honest, but I don't have any qualms. I don't have any issues because I worked through it so hard. And I know Jason has worked through a lot of things so hard. Do I forgive everything that you've done? No. I still hate it. I still think it's disgusting and grotesque. But do I harbor resentment? Do I harbor hate? No. Because we were always friends first. And there is an issue as well that comes with girls and women like us that we should totally collectively know now, but it's hard to know. But I should have left you alone. I should have said, he's not interested in me, because it was hot and cold. And I should have been like, okay, this guy's fucked. But I didn't. I didn't because I wanted to be chosen so bad and I loved you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And then it further substantiated to then where once, you know, we do split and we're alone, then you're dealing with the crazy narcissist that then further compounds everything that this BPND dude did, apparently.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Chad, bastard.
Exactly.
So, like, what makes a weak man? What would be your first thought on that?
God. Forgot I was supposed to think about this. Oh, yeah.
All right, so I got a couple of them we'll figure out here and see if a man doesn't approach a woman because he doesn't feel up to par, does that make him a weak man?
No.
No. So it's just like he could just be in a spot where he's like, all right, you know I want to do it, but I don't know how to do it. I'm a little hot. I'm a little cold, but I just don't know where I'm at. But I can't approach her because I don't want to have her deal with this kind of confusion.
I think you just told on yourself, and I think it's different for other men. Because,
all right. How's it different then? Go ahead.
Because it's the same for women or anyone or whatever identity you think you are or want to be. It's about anxiety about revealing yourself. It's about anxiety about being vulnerable. Because we are so afraid of rejection, but rejection is redirection, and we don't always see that. And I understand that. It takes a lot of years to understand that, at least for people like me. It doesn't for my best friend. It doesn't for other people who like really know who they are. But like, you know, that's just someone being scared. But what you just said, you are creating a victim circumstance, or you were, you know, like, or this type of persona that you're saying is creating this type of victim circumstance of like, I don't want them to know the real me. No, like I could quote like 50 Shades of Grey, you know, she was like, what? Why did he do that? No, Anastasia, come here. No, go away. You know, like, it's like, no, like if you know that you're bringing that type of confusion, what are you doing about it? What are you doing about it so you're not like that to other people? That's the point. But someone who doesn't approach, or like, you know, a man specifically approaching a woman, like if he doesn't want to approach a woman because he's scared, that's understandable. He doesn't want to be rejected. That's understandable. He's scared. He's vulnerable. He doesn't like vulnerability. But there's a difference between being like, I know what I'm going to do to this person. So I don't want to do it.
There's more of a controlling thing to where they're doing it because they know or they want a result, rather than it's just, they just keep getting into a same cycle and being idiots. All right, here's another one. And this kind of, I guess, goes in the term of compliance. If a man says he will pay for everything, you just got to give him some quality time. You know, whenever he's thirsty. What are your thoughts on that?
What do you mean by that?
Like, you know what? I don't care that you have all these problems. I pay for the house. I pay for the doggy food. I pay for the lawn to get mowed. You got to go ahead and... What's wrong with that?
No. You are doing the blue ribbon for the bare minimum.
Well, maybe you're just not marrying the right person at that point. I don't know. Or you're not getting into it.
I don't know. I think it's the person that is doing too much. They are saying that, hey, I gave you shelter. I gave you food. I am kind. I am loyal. I don't hit women.
What if that's the deal to get from the get-go? Like, what if a narcissist guy was like, listen, I'm going to take care and pay for everything. You can stay home and do it. So he did the opposite. That's the rough part about it. So you were the one that's basically like, all right, I'll pay for everything. I'll take care of the gas and the food. The doggy, you just got to go ahead and be ready to be a man and rub my feet every now and then. We'll reverse the roles. What's wrong with that? You made it seem like it was a bad thing if the dude's like, come on, turn loose a little bit on me, girl. But if it were the other way around and you're like, all right, fine, I'm the breadwinner. I want you to do what I want.
No. It's both ways. Like either man or woman, it's bad. It's not like that. It isn't. Like be like that, because that's a power dynamic. That's an imbalanced power dynamic, and that's a power dynamic overall.
Oh, okay.
You know?
And I think that's the big issue, is that the lack of dynamic power balancing can really create some really polar situations.
Oh,
which you went
exactly.
through.
Especially when it goes to narcissistic individuals that are entitled. They feel entitled. Not just narcissistic individuals. I'm talking about abusive individuals. Abuse is because of entitlement. It is because of skewed beliefs. It is not because of alcoholism. It is not because they had a traumatized childhood, and maybe they did, but that is not the root cause. And that's what we need to frickin' dial in.
Is it a red flag if your partner doesn't post on social media with you? Really?
Yes.
So like they're just like, I don't want to be vulnerable, so I'm not going to post anything involving my relationship. It's still a red flag?
It has nothing to do with vulnerability. It has everything to do with hiding. I will tell you right now that I even got freaking duped with my ex-husband, just like I got duped with you. like he only had business pages. So how could he post me? Because he only had business pages on Facebook and Instagram.
Well, he is your business. Well, he should have been, right?
Well, he had his like.
Yeah. Well, I get it. Yeah, I get it.
He didn't have like a personal page,
profile page, and he's like, "Oh, here's my new wife. I'm so happy. I'm so ready to promise her the future." And
so I was duped because I was like, "Well, it's his business page." Well, guess what? He didn't even like tout me in any fucking way, you know. But you also did not, and I know that is a ploy. No offense.
Really?
Yeah.
Just because I mean, even if I just say what goes on in my private life is none of the business of Facebook, I don't want to have people know where, you know, and it's something that I've actually had a context collapse from a long time ago based on trying to not share personal information, whether it's where I go, whether it's who I'm with. I'll post it after the fact. But it doesn't work that way with a relationship, obviously.
It doesn't, because I should be on your Snapchat, even though you shouldn't have Snapchat to begin with. And like, I should be on your Facebook or your Instagram. But the point is that you should be able to tout that person. You should be able to spread the news of like, oh my God, this is my girl, this is my man, you know, whatever. But there is a problem, because more often than not, statistically, more often than not, when someone is not posting you, they want to act single. They want to act like they are single. What you should do is I will take a plan from my best friend, my other best friend, Daniel. It's fine.
Daniel Chatterson?
Yeah, Daniel Chatterson. I'd love that man. I was with him for 6 years, and I will tell you what, he is against social media.
Altogether.
Altogether.
Just get rid of it completely.
Altogether. So he has no argument of like, oh, you never post me. Like, I could never say that to him, because he's like, I'm not on social media.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I don't.
This is a huge issue that it plagues a lot of people. Like, think about it. There could be somebody that's listened for 20, 25 minutes. They've actually gotten this far, and they're like, I'm in a relationship where someone doesn't post up my pictures and I think this is something that I experienced as Chad Chatterson, or whatever his name was.
Chadson.
You can choose somebody, but you don't choose them every day. If you're really trying to get impassioned and figure out what you're doing with your life, you have to choose that person every day. And that's something that's plagued me for a long time, because I'm like, you know what? I'm not choosing them right now. I'm not choosing them today. I need to choose them every day. Women want a man that's going to say, I'm claiming you. You're mine. I want to show the world that, in a sense. There's a little bit of ego there, but women want a man who's there and says, you know what? This is who I have. This is who I want. This is me. This is my alpha, my omega to my alpha, whatever. I don't know how it works. You're just cringing and biting. You're ready to start cringing your teeth right now, like to where they're going to start cracking.
I have the ick.
Look at me.
I have the fucking ick.
You have the ick on that? Like, you don't want a man to be like, you know what? This is my woman. I claim her.
It's different.
While there's sirens in the background, I
I
claim
know.
her. I'm gonna put her on my profile picture with me giving her a big smoocheroonie on the face.
No, I think true love and companionship is not about claiming. It's about framing. It's about actually putting this person not on a pedestal, but within the frame of you and I, like, within each other. And it's about choosing to be with this person, no matter if they're sick, no matter if they're having an ugly phase or something, it's like, it's about fierce loyalty. Here's
the one, though, that comes along, and this should challenge your loyalty. Should a man be considered less a man because he's asking for discounts? I have friends that if you go to a bar and it's like, oh, do you got a drink special? And they're like, no, it's Friday night. This is what it is. And they're like, oh, you don't have any beer of the month or any $3 specials or drafts or pints, nothing? No. Oh, okay. All right. Well, what if the roles are reversed then?
No, I think either way, if you ask for discounts, you're just being healthily frugal, because I think that's cool. You should get discounts. You should totally get discounts. What is the difference between toxic discounts and healthy discounts is that toxic discounts will be like my ex-husband, where he thinks he's entitled to it no matter what, and he will fight it, and he'll leave a bad Google review just so I
want the manager. He's going to Karen out.
It's like the Karens of the world. Like, the Karens of the world are asking for discounts, but they're fucking being entitled about it. There's the difference. We all want discounts,
Yeah, we all want that best deal. The thing with getting that deal is then you expect to get it every time. Why would I want to pay full price since I got half price last time? And I feel like that's the arguments between, I don't know, advertising and giving your product away for half of a price when you look and you go, I don't want to do that.
It all comes down to entitlement and being humble. Are you entitled? Are you a piece of shit egomaniac? Or you fucking being oh, they gave me a discount and I appreciate that, but I'm going to actually put money towards their business, etc.
Well, let's go ahead and jump out of the narcissism and what makes a weak man and go into something that's a little more exciting. We didn't even answer that. Well, okay, let's answer it. What should I?
Okay.
Let's answer it. Yeah, answer it real quick.
Real quick. What makes a weak man? Entitlement. What makes a weak man is them not acknowledging themselves and not growing. Grow. You have to grow.
Yeah, grow or die at that point.
Exactly.
Somebody said that to me yesterday at a dive bar, so it's kind of cool that it's
That's what it is. A weak man doesn't grow.
I think a weak man is not being able to communicate so that in turn everything you say to the people in the environment around you is still a lie to them and yourself.
Yep. And without growth, you can't change that.
If you can't recognize that, if you can't pick up on it, then you're never going to grow. And if you don't grow, you're doing the same cycle, and then you're in the same miserable thing, and you're going to feel miserable and mad at yourself for doing that. You're going to apologize to everyone that was around you that had to deal with it. It's not worth it. Just communicate. Figure out how to communicate. Don't bubble it all in and let it boil out like a raging volcano.
I agree 100%, Jason.
Yeah.
Chad.
Thanks.
Whatever.
I appreciate that. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and jump into a lighter note.
All right.
We are once again sponsoring the Women's Auxiliary in Crete for their annual golf outing. Tales from a Dive Bar is sponsored a hole. The 515 podcast is sponsored a hole.
And
our
Blue
friends
Chew.
over at the BCs, they've sponsored a hole.
BCs.
So if you guys want to sponsor a hole, you have up until June 13th. June 13th, we're doing it. We're going to be in Crete. We're going to drive around at, is it the same golf course?
It's actually a different golf course. And all proceeds go to Mission 22. They help veterans through crises, and it's so important to help our veterans. We love that, and we want to see you on the green. It's $125 to golf. You could put together a twosome, threesome, foursome, whatever the vocabulary is for golf. I don't golf, but me and Jason will be there on the green, and it's also $100 to sponsor a hole.
Yeah,
so.
Sponsor a hole. I'll put my money where my mouth is. If you show up that day at the Crete golf course that we will be at, and you're like, I want to play golf, I'll pay for the golf. I'll do it for the first twosome that comes up to me and says, hey, I heard this podcast and I want to get my free admission, I will pay for it on top of sponsoring the whole. So you might have to do some embarrassing things like we did last time. We breathalyzed the college kids that were running around. One guy, I don't know how he was legally able to stand up, let alone, I don't know how he was breathing, to be honest, with
they're
how high
not
his
allowed
BAC
on the
is.
course this year, to be honest.
Those guys got banned?
Yeah.
Oh man, those guys are cool. Anyways, those guys won't be there, so we'll have a new high contestant board for the highest BAC. Maybe we'll chip a ball at a hole or something and give away some T-shirts. I'm in the works with that. We'll also have some magnets. I know there's tons of Tales from a Dive Bar magnets that we need to get rid of.
And 515 podcast.
515 podcast swag. So all of that is going to be available June 13th, Saturday, June 13th. In Crete. It's at a golf course. We'll have all the details on our website at talesfromadivebar.com.
It's at University Park.
I had a blast last year. Last year we were driving around just goofing off.
But this time it's at a better golf course.
Yeah.
My mom went there. She vetted it. Totally bigger and more ritzy.
It's a little more ritzier.
Way
so
more bigger
I will
and
not
nice.
have my shirt off this year, so I will not be hanging off the side of the golf cart.
Are you sure? That was like the
All right, actually, that
seller.
might be kind of fun. We'll do that
I
next
mean,
time.
that was fun.
What are some of the things that we should consider doing for the golfers there for the women's auxiliary in Crete? Like, I feel like we should maybe have some kind of contest for them, or one thing I've been doing is I'm trying to get good bar laughs. So if I get a good laugh, I can use it for the podcast. Stupid things like that. I don't know. We got to find some chintzy things.
It's the Deer Creek Golf Course in University Park.
So Deer Creek Golf Course, University Park, June 13th, Saturday. We're going to be having some fun, hanging out on the holes, having a good time. Like I said, the first pair or couple, whatever, the 125, I'll pay for it if you want to show up saying that, hey, I heard it on Tales from a Dive Bar, I want to golf. Tell me about it, and I'll go ahead and pay for your admission. So
because
you get
this
one.
is your last chance. This is your last chance to sign up. You have $125 per person, okay? $100 to sponsor a hole. What will you do? And also, just to fast line this, besides letting us know that you want to join, call Kathleen. That's our vice president of the auxiliary. You want to call her at 708-372-1833.
You guys have to keep in mind, Kathleen at that number does not have email, so you got an old school call.
708-372-1833.
There's no fax machine involved. You just call her, and she will go ahead and pull out the Rolodex or whatever she uses to get your contact information and get you dialed in for our fun golf outing on Saturday, June 13th at the
Deer Creek Golf Course.
There you go. That's a good spot. That was a good promo. Maybe we should shove that in the beginning of the podcast, and then we'll go ahead and then let them go. Here, we'll just go ahead and do a quick little edit. Oh, and now here's us talking about narcissism. Enjoy. I don't know. How you feeling, Raven? What do you got going on? What's going on in your mind? What do you plan on doing? What did you learn today?
I learned that you somewhat take accountability, and that's weird.
It's hard. It's really hard. I mean, you know what? I take accountability, but I don't take it out on myself in the way I would prior.
At least you
It's a
don't talk
different way.
accountability like my ex-husband did. It was so bad.
Yeah.
He'd be like, I hate people who don't take accountability.
You know, I really don't like these guys that do this to women, so I'm going to do this to women.
Yeah, exactly.
Cringe.
I know.
I don't know. It's one of those things where I almost tell people, don't meet your next start in a dive bar. Meet at a regular place like a Denny's or whatever. And then once you guys get warmed up and acclimated to each other, you're like, hey, I know this place and we should go there. It's a divey little place. You might fall through the floor.
I don't think you should even go to Denny's.
Denny's pretty much smells the same way most of those dive bars
play. It's the same thing
as
this local bar over here.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, you know what? Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Forget it. Maybe you should meet somebody at a dive bar. Maybe I'm just the one who screwed up, and you should be the one that does it and proves me wrong by all of a sudden going, wow, I got this wife and these kids in this house, and it's wonderful. And
I hope someone
she's
comes
not
out like
psychotic.
that.
I'm not psychotic. Neither of us are narcissists.
I would love that because every time I walked into a dive bar, my life became a piece of shit.
I feel like I'm walking around in the muck. It's love, but it's a mucky love.
Mucky
It's
love.
kind of got like this weird grittiness to it.
No.
It's kind of like the chip off of the shot glass. So you go to take a sip and it cuts your lip and you go, this is the kind of place I want to have another drink at.
Maybe you're just drinking too much, my lord.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. I should stop doing that. Well, I don't know. You got any last words? I'm kind of wrapping it up here. Maybe we'll do another one an hour from now once we've had a few more shots.
We got to figure it out.
Yeah.
All I say is that I love to be here. I'm glad to be back on Tales from a Dive Bar. I wore my sweater the other day that my brother made me. It was pretty cool. Yeah, it says my name on it and everything. I wore it to work. I love that sweater. I love this podcast. I spent a lot of time with you. I mean, we were together for like almost 4 years.
4 years, yeah. There was a lot going on. Yeah.
It was a lot. Even
it was
though
like going through high school together.
Yeah, even
Only we were
for
40
you,
I was in my
because
40s.
for you, because it was under the guise of love, and you were awful. But thanks for being honest with me, and thanks for being cool. We're still friends. I still support you.
I'm glad that we're both, and I'm capable of being mature to know that I'm very happy to have you back and goofing off with us here on the show and doing whatever we're doing, because you've always been a great friend in my life, and I can't see my life without, having you and good friends around me. So that's important. And, we're going to help me grow and help me get over this whole crazy narcissism thing that I got, and hopefully we help out a few people with the 515 podcast. People
I
can
hope
relate
so.
and tell their stories. I'd love to hear more of that, and we'll link to all of it on the website. Magnets, tons of magnets. We're selling them at talesfromadivebar.com. There might even be some t-shirts eventually, but more importantly, June 13th, we're going to be in Crete for the Women's Auxiliary Golf. Come hang out with us. It'll be a lot of fun. All the details, along with all the merch and swag and all the giveaways that we can possibly do there. June 13th, the details.
We'll be in University Park, but it's right next to Crete.
Close enough. University Park, that's where Raven is graduated from college there at the fine campus of Governor University. We'll be right across the street from that. It's right off the highway. It's easy to get to. It's a blast. Join us. Details at talesfromadivebar.com. We'll see you guys later. Raven, as before, as always, it's always great to have you on.
Thank you, sir.
All right. You guys take care.
Tales from a dive bar, yeah. Come and listen for free. Get your ass on your couch, eat some food, and listen to us three.